Hello, I'm Kevin and I play the Binding of Isaac. This is it. This is the first real episode. Wait, what's on my docket? I should probably check before I have really started to click record. Actually, I think it's it's the holidays. I mean, it was the holidays. And that's probably what I'll talk about. My time during the holidays. There is much to be said about my time during the holidays. Not because it was particularly interesting. It's a lot has happened during my time in the holidays. I didn't do anything crazy. I went home. So I live in Montreal, and I flew home Vancouver for the holidays. That's not really crazy. It was just a very interesting time. It was nice to be back with my family because I live away from my family. And for me to live with my family or spend time with my family again, even temporarily, it has been a heck of a time.
Soul of Lilith, soul of Bethany.
Most notably, well, let's start from the beginning. Before I went on my vacation leave flight back home, I was recording a few things. I finished up work. You know, again, when it's the holiday season, you're just kind of holding your breath until the last day. That's what I was doing. And on the flight, let's start with the flight. Oh, that's not the item that I wanted to pick up at all. On the flight back, actually in the airport on the flight back, this is early December, I think. I realized that I have a sickness in my heart where I just love to watch people struggle in airports. Or rather, to be more specific, I love watching strangers struggle in airports. Even as I was like, okay, my vacation has like officially started. I'm getting on my before I even check in my luggage. I get to the airport and I'm checking my luggages in. There's a guy at the luggage airport kiosk stand talking to an agent, and he's like begging. I don't know what he's begging for. He's like, he has a bunch of luggages with them, and he's like, no sir, your flight is whatever. You can't get on this flight, and you can't just send your luggage or something like that. Like as per Canadian Transport Agency, we can't just send your luggages to your destination. I'm sure he has like personal reasons, but I'm just like, on the outside, I'm pretending my own business. I'm checking my luggage in. I'm like, I'm not there to cause any trouble. I'm very early for my flight, as I always am and always will be. So I have all the time in the world. I'm just watching this guy kind of have a meltdown while I'm enjoying my my leisurely interaction with the kiosk worker man. And I thought it was just, I thought it was interesting. I get a sick sense of satisfaction out of it because I know that I don't want to be on the other side of that fence where I'm begging, I'm crying to a customer service agent to do something that they're not allowed to do, or like something that takes way too much manpower for them to handle. And I'm over there smirking to myself on the inside, and having a jolly time. It's my vacation. I'm immediately having a good time. What? I can't open. That doesn't mean that I have no empathy though. I feel for them, and I think that's why it makes it funny, or makes it like sickeningly enjoyable. I feel like enjoyable is not the right word here. A sick sense of satisfaction, because I feel like we have all been on the other side of that fence. And it's a terrible place to be. So when it's not us, we feel for them. I feel for them. But at the same time, hey brother, that's not me, begging the customer service agent. And right now, when my vacation has just started, that's all that matters, brother. That's all that matters. I hope I figure something out. And after that, like that was at the check-in counter gate. And then I get through security, and I'm at my actual gate. And I think there was an older family there. They were, one of them, like an older gentleman, was clearly upset about something, and they were arguing with the service agent. And honestly, I'm over there having a good time. I'm also watching them. I'm also having a sick sense of satisfaction, because I think they were talking about how their flight was delayed or something like that, and obviously that's terrible. Hold on.
The sun.
Obviously that's terrible, and I feel for them. And that's why it's funny. I cannot explain it. I feel like I'm now in a space where I can't defend myself, and try to not sound like a psychopath challenge. I'm not like, that idiot did not plan properly or whatever. It's I don't know. I can't explain it. It's not me, and it sucks. It sucks, and I wish that it didn't happen to them. But God, it already happened, so let me just laugh on the inside that they're screaming at a public customer service rep, knowing that I'm not, yelling at customer service reps. But that did come around to my ass. Eventually. Let me explain. So that was my flight there. So my flight back was a little bit more complicated. Because it was the holidays. So the flight tickets were obviously expensive, and I did not book in time to kind of really minimize the cost of travel. I just didn't even, I just failed to plan effectively. I guess that's how I would put it. But because of that, I had to pay an exorbitant amount of money for my flight. And also because of that, I had to choose the cheapest flight available on my return flight. That being one with 2-3 layovers. So I went from, if you know your Canadian geography, I went from Vancouver, which is on the west coast, and I went to Winnipeg, which is not on the west coast, and I went to Toronto, which is a little bit further down east, and then I backtracked a little bit to Montreal. That's a few flights, that's a little bit more than what I'm typically used to. So I'm over there shaking in my boots before the flights. Oh my god, it's gonna be terrible. Actually, no, it wasn't like that. I was like, it's flight. I'm fine. I have my Steam Deck with me. All my devices are charged. It'll be fine. I have my suitcases aren't gonna get lost, because I feel like I've not had my suitcases get lost, mostly because I've never had to deal with flights with so many layovers. And that has been my tragic downfall. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Where was I? So that's where I paid. I was laughing at other people on my direct flight to Vancouver, and I was crying on my return flights back because of the layovers, and it was overnight flight. And things were mostly fine until I got to Toronto, and I realized that I left my Airpods in the terminal, in the gate terminal, and then I found myself in the flight, and it was way too goddamn late. So I was sitting in my plane seat, me like checking all my pockets, and going like, excuse me, I think I left my AirPod, back in the gate just outside the door. And he's like, "Sir, the gate has already closed." I know, but I'm just saying that I feel like I should at least say something, or I'm gonna regret, not saying anything, right? So I'm over there. I'm not begging. I'm not crying. I'm just like, hey, actually no, yeah. I was like, please let me out. I need to get my AirPod. It costs so much money. I was crying. I was begging. I was actually had my mother on the phone to talk on my behalf because I was in tears. No, I was like, and that's kind of where it began. Everything was fine until I got to Toronto. It was like 5 a.m. I flew from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. Not flew, but I was like with the Winnipeg layover. And by the time I got to Toronto, I was too exhausted to find that I left my AirPods. It must have slipped out of my it slipped out of my pockets or something. And now I'm one AirPod down, and I've made a fool of myself in the Toronto Pearson Airport, and I'm sure that someone was laughing at me. So it does come full circle. So that's what I, call it karmic retribution. Call it just me trying to save money on my flights and getting too exhausted because of cheaper flights and then losing my AirPods case. So thereby having a net neutral, except now I have lost more time in travel time. Call it what you will. But I am now one AirPod down. And sure, you could say, oh, AirPods, they have they have an air tag in them, so you know you can track it with your iPhone. Rather, I do not have an iPhone. I just have AirPods because they're what fits me best for my use case, and I like how they sound. I like how they work. So I cannot find them, brother. They are lost within the sea of the lost and found of Pearson Airport. I did file a claim, like the what is it? The flight attendant said. She was like, "Yeah, sir, we can't let you out. Obviously, the gate's closed." It was like she was like, "Oh, but you can, like, you know, the best you can do is file a claim." So that's what I did on the seat. And honestly, by then I was so exhausted. I was like, and I'm obviously pissed off because I've lost a piece of tech that costs hundreds of dollars, and that is gonna impact me very much financially. So yeah, that was me on my flights, and there's a lot that happened between the flights. Well, I guess we'll have to cover another time. I mean, like, between the flights, you know, during my time in the holidays, because this is me even traveling between my holidays, what I've talked about in this episode. But I'm just saying, I sure was having a good time when my vacation began, and I was like, huh, what an idiot that can't manage their own time and has to cry to a flight attendant because of something that they mismanaged. And man, what goes around comes around. And I don't mind flights. I'm what they call a short king. That is like my genus. My full, like, biological title is short king McGee. I don't know. I don't know how they name those like plants and new animals. But I'm like, what, 5 foot? Let's say 5 foot like 4. I think 5'4" is a fair estimate. Maybe I have already revealed myself too much. But as a show king, flights are never that bad because I'm in a plane seat. I think in one of them I was next to the emergency exit, so which has a little bit of extra leg space, and I was swimming. I was like, man, is there there's a lot of space. For, you know, like a plane seat. My legs don't necessarily cramp up too much. Thankfully. So, and if you're tall and you're complaining about, you know, seat sizes and the price of like business class seats for the extra leg room, I would say well, sucks to suck, baby. Like, you're tall. You need to kind of take it on the nose, and because you're tall, you can't complain. I wish I was tall. Honestly, I do wish I was tall. This is gonna turn into a whole episode of me ranting about how I wish I was tall and how I wish my legs hurt on my flights. But as I was saying, short legs, but proportional. I'm not gross looking, I think. And I have and most importantly, I have my Steam Deck, my trusty Steam Deck. I have threatened to sell it a few times But by God, I'm so happy that I have it because instead of having to travel with a laptop or anything, I just bring that thing, and that is a laptop in itself, and I don't. That is all my entertainment needs over the holidays. And it also functions as a laptop in a pinch. So layovers never really bothered me. Delayed baggages, whatever. On my flight back, I had to wait like almost 3 hours for my baggages. Again, call it karmic retribution. Call it what you will. But I have my Steam Deck, and I have made just about full use of it. And if I had lost that instead of my AirPods, I would have probably lost my, as the kids call it, lost my freaking shit, brother. So there I was. I feel like I'm so jumping back and forth in my story. But there I was in the airplane seat. I'm exhausted. And I am like $300 Canadian dollars down because of missing AirPods. I have filed a missing item report, and there was no marking on it. It's just a white AirPods case. Someone's gonna find it and they're just gonna take it for themselves. And on the lost and found report sheet, it was like, oh, is the AirTag tracking available? I'm like, yeah, but am I gonna be able to access that? No, I cannot access the dang AirTag because I don't have an iPhone. Fuck iPhones, man. I was genuinely like in that airplane seat. I have flipped the seat, like I've opened the seat cover. Not the seat cover. I'm not pulling the emergency bell on the flight, but I was close. I was close to losing it. I was just about to lose my shit. I'm exhausted. I'm down on kashish. I was telling myself to just like calm down, don't freak the fuck out. It's you're trapped in the airplane. Just don't freak out. It's okay. It's just the AirPods. And I'm shitting and crying. But it's fine. Honestly, it's fine. I don't even care. I don't even need those AirPods anyways. Man, it's... As I tell myself, as I'm looking at my bank account, threatening to use another $300 to order and replace the old AirPods. Because what, am I gonna work out in silence? Am I gonna commute to work in the loud ass Montreal metro? Just raw dogging it with nothing in my ears? Ain't no way. I need those noise cancellings, man. So that's honestly that's the rundown of what I get for laughing at people. I will never laugh at people's misfortunes again. I just hope that honestly I hope someone got a kick out of watching me, the guy next to me that was my seatmate flipping my seat upside down, checking all my pockets like 3 times, opening my bag, closing my bag. I hope that he was like, you know, at least amused by it. It is what I genuinely hope. I genuinely hope that, I don't know, that someone got something out of it. Maybe that's hard cope. Call it cope. Call it me trying to atone for my sins and learning a painful lesson in the form of lost currency. But yeah. You know, as they say, do not throw glass stone in a rock. Yeah. You can tank it. Honestly, I'm glad that I'm at least home safe. And I didn't lose my like passport, my wallet, my phone or anything, my keys. AirPods are replaceable, thankfully. So honestly, I take it on the nose and I move on. That's it. That's how you beat the Binding of Isaac. Thanks for watching.